What's up, guys? It's Zach from High Def Physical Therapy, and today I want to talk about core exercises that you could do to improve core strength. A lot of us neglect our core, and so I want to show you, 8-minute abs used to exist. I used to do a ton. I'm going to show you something that could be 3-minute abs, it could be 15-minute abs. Really, the 8-minute abs thing is there's no perfect number for anyone. You've got to figure out what fitness level you're at and what your goal is, and then tailor it to it. If you're like, hey, I want the strongest abs in the world, 8-minute abs probably not going to cut it. Got to go up from that. But if you're just like, hey, I'd like to do a little bit for my core, do this in a 3-minute chunk. So first one that I like to do, I'll lay back in a position like this. I'm gonna press my low back flat into the ground. So a lot of people, the mistake is they arch their back and their ribs flare. I want you to push your back down, rest your head on the floor. You could elevate your neck, then you're gonna get a nice neck core exercise. But if your neck can't hold that, you can just let it down. But I'm gonna keep my back pressed flat, and I'm gonna do alternating heel taps. So this is the first one that I like to do. Now, if this feels really easy, which, by the way, I challenge you, if you really tighten your abs and you push your back flat into the ground, then what you're gonna feel is you're gonna feel a lot of activation in your core, and this will be a lot harder. If you're just relaxing your abs and you're doing this, you're not gonna feel anything. You've gotta try to actually contract those abs. So if that's too easy, just reach the foot out a little further, right? So now I'm going a little further, or if you're really strong, you can go all the way out to a straight leg position. Next one you're gonna do is double leg lifts. So I like to work single leg, so I'm kind of working the abs in kind of like a shifting fashion like you would when you're walking. But this one is gonna help with things like lifting and squatting when you're moving in bilateral patterns. And so I'm gonna do double leg touches. Again, the further I touch my heels away from my hips, the harder this gets. Most people try to go to these straight leg raises like this. But what I find is most people are arching their back. They're not actually using their abs. They're using their hip flexors a ton. So I'd rather you bring your feet towards you, press the back flat, keep your hands under. And if you can't keep your back flat down, then don't start to extend your legs further out, okay? Next one I like to do is a sitting twist. So just holding up. You can even, if you're like, hey, that's too much for me, just hold boat pose. Or put your feet down and just hold your back up. This is tough on my abs, even just here. This is next level. This is third level there. And so get into that. That's called the twist. And then the last one that you're gonna do is gonna be a plank. And there's different variations of plank. The biggest thing I see with plank is that people get into a plank and they let their hips sag. And so again, they're resting on their ligaments of their back, which isn't really doing much for them. So what I want you to do is focus on bringing your elbows towards your feet, like you're gonna scrunch the floor up between your elbows and your feet so your abs are activated. This is just neutral plank. There's next level plank that we call RKC plank, where you just tighten up every muscle in your body, all your fists, your glutes, your calves, you just squeeze everything. You try to hold that for 10 or 15 seconds, and then your rest position is staying in the plank. So you do really tight, and then relax, but I'm staying here. And then really tight, and then relax. And so what that's gonna do is bring a level of muscle activation and recruitment that's gonna be really good for building in strength and endurance. And so those are basically my 4 different core exercises that are go-tos that you could do on a daily or semi-daily basis to help build strong abs and feel better.